You get to Europe, world champions. France are what's been a little here, a little there for them, and they're looking to defend the title they won in 2018 against the rest of the world later this year in Qatar. How Herculean will that task be? Well, we'll go talk about that. Gareth Southgate, well, seems the man is fired up, is talking very tough. We look at the latest statement and the statement at the FIFA World Cup. The Black Stars of Ghana are talking very tough, led by the charismatic skipper, Dede Ayew. He's seen the Black Stars will cause a major upset at the 2022 World Cup. But now the question will be, have they got the quality? Have they got what it takes to surpass the mark when it comes to African teams at the World Cup? The semi-final is the new mark, but the quarterfinal is the highest any African team has gone at the World Cup. We look at that Ghanaian squad then put it side by side, whether or not they've got the quality. Look at the group opponents side by side. Where do they rank? 090-222-310 and 1027-624-8565 allows you the opportunity of joining the conversation here this afternoon. I am Bright. James leading the line alongside Marizona, who's back here alongside Solorex, and respecting Haichi Blyden came to also be a part of the conversation here this afternoon. Beyond the phone lines, you can join us on Facebook as well. We're streaming live on a verified Facebook page and also on the Planet 11 FM Sport page. There's a post published there. Go drop a comment. We'll take them as they come. Scorecard of Nigerian players. And in fact, it's a national team duty, but some are in club action. We'll look at particularly the Super Falcon Stars, those in action and how they fare in their respective clubs. Join us this afternoon every step of the way. Mary, thank you for joining the conversation this afternoon as always. Now let's x-ray that international friendly expected in Oran later tomorrow. Meanwhile, the story we're getting from the Eagles camp is that the Eagles have landed. They stormed Oran early hours of this morning ahead of the international friendly against the Desert Foxes of Algeria later tomorrow. 22 players and technical crew members make the trip to the coastal city from Constantine. The players will have their final training session before the game at the Stade Olympique de Oran later today. And now I understand the game would be kicking off by 8 p.m. Nigerian time. The three-time African champions were held to a 2-2 draw by Algeria's home base side at the Mohamed Hamloui Stadium last week, Friday. The Eagles are seeking their first win in 4 outings against the North Africans, having lost 3 matches in a row. Now, Mari, let's look at the last 2 meetings between the nations. Well, they've ended in success for the North Africans, who defeated Nigeria in the semis of the 2019 African Cup of Nations before triumphing in a friendly 2 years ago. Now, some of the players on Jamel Belmadi's roster were there, and of course, in the last meetings, and will feature predominantly when the West African side clash with the North African side on a Tuesday. That's tomorrow in Oran. Now, let's talk about that friendly, Mari. Beyond the veneer of winning, what will this game mean for Jose Pizarro and his bid to introduce and gradually grind it into the boys until it becomes muscle memory, his tactics and the way he wants them to.
An exciting encounter from a neutral perspective. I'm expecting, both teams to put up fine performances, but from a Nigerian perspective, we saw the game on Friday with the Eagles team and the Algeria B team. There was a lot to desire from the boys. I'm expecting an improved performance from there. And I'm also expecting a few players who did not start that game to start later today, because this is the official friendly. The one they played on Friday was a more unofficial friendly. I'm expecting likes of Alex Iwobi to start that particular game. Unfortunately, Troostekong is out due to an injury sustained in that Friday game. So I'm still concerned about how that backline look like without Troostekong and Leon Balogun, who are out injured. So looking forward to how things will turn out for them. And of course, there's this talk about the midfield combination and how Alex Iwobi is going to be an integral part of that in the space of that time. And that clearly shows you that we need to get some stability in terms of who is our coach, because this frequent changing manager, changing coach, clearly is not good, for a team like Nigeria that wants to build a national football philosophy. So I think moving forward, we should get some stability as to who's the coach of the national team side. But let's start from there.
All right, now, Solorex, let's talk about this game still. Looking at it from the Algerian threats, let's look at some big names and whether or not we've got the names to counter them, or what exactly do we have in our kitty to match toe-to-toe with the quality the Algerians will be bringing now? Let's start with Rami Besibani. Well, his forward four is making me threaten the attacking phase from open play and set pieces. Now, the left-back combination with the designated winger on his flank mean the Algerians pose a danger on both flanks. Now, his strength in duel shows the Borussia Mönchengladbach's manner as not shrinking defensive responsibilities as the AC Milan midfielder has largely looked to be returning to his best in the last few months. He's got the ability to carry the ball aggressively away from pressure, but also has the eye for passes that potentially opens up the pitch, and that would be one key feature in his game with respect to later tomorrow. Another player to look out for would definitely be Yusuf Belaili. Well, down the left with Besbani, Belaili, well, would be a man looking to trouble the Nigerians. Often start on the touchline before drifting in midfield while the Gladbach wide defender overlaps. Now, the pair, dovetailing, can potentially serve the Super Eagles right back, and Stade Brest winger's dribbling ability adds to his threat. Now, carrying the ball going forward, Islam Slimani's got to be another name there. Well, there's a leading towards Andy Dalot's sisters, but the 34-year-old continues to prove his usefulness for the man Jamel Belmadi, and that we saw in the last friendly game they played, came off the bench 10 minutes to the end to score the goal which turned out to be the difference in that particular game against Guinea. He replaced Dalot, and Dalot might possibly start, but that's another man off the bench. And you talk about the former African Footballer of the Year, the Manchester City's Riyad Mahrez. Well, hasn't quite had the best start to the season with Manchester City, but remains Algeria's most dependable match winner. Sister Slimani's goal against Guinea, picking out the forward with lateral pass that led to a cracking finish, and he will be expected to line out with such quality with the clash later tomorrow against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, we've had names from the Algerian perspective now. Solorex, let's talk about the names we have on the Nigerian side, names that can counter the quality the Algerians bring, or what exactly have we got in our kitty? You'd say, well, I'll be banking on this ahead of tomorrow's international friendly.
But first up, I think the day we've gotten in our locker has to be Terry Murphy. Fantastic player. We've seen what he has done for League One side. Scoring 6 goals in his last 7 appearances in that particular game. So I expect him to start in the next coming games with the likes of Alex Iwobi. The new Alex Iwobi, rejuvenated Alex Iwobi under Frank Lampard. He has been good. He scored in the Team B team. So Bright, I expect them to get a massive result in this particular game. But all what the fans want in this particular game has to be a win. Nothing more than that, right? Because we've struggled to win North African teams. The last time we won Algeria has to be back in 2016 when Victor Moses was still in the side. And looking at the FIFA ranking as well, Algeria ranked 35 in the world and Nigeria is ranked